Welcome back to Binge Worthy, where we're getting into it, and the newest thing is Loki. So we're dipping into the Marvel. How to explain this episode or series without giving it all away? If you've been watching Marvel, this is just leading up to what's coming in the next 2 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Loki in previous movies has been the antagonist, but it gets a little bit different when you talk about the series and his journey throughout. With my castmates, I'm LaRasha Simon.
I'm Casey Kelsey.
And I'm Starly.
Let's get into it, y'all. So Loki series, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Where do we even start?
See, here's the thing about the Marvel Universe. It confuses the hell out of me sometimes because I know that we're behind on the time. We're behind the Marvel Universe time. Everything, like with Endgame, that's already happened, but we still need to catch up. We still need to figure out what's going on with Captain Marvel because she came out of nowhere in Endgame. We got to figure out. Like, it's so much stuff that is like these big gaps, and it bothers me sometimes with the Marvel Universe, but it also like intrigues the hell out of me because it's like, I don't think people give Marvel enough credit.
No.
I don't know who's in the writer's room, but I want to give them like a it's fantastic. I don't know. It's amazing.
Well, here's what confuses me. So this timeline, theoretically speaking, because we're just going to speak in theoreticals because the timeline gets really heinous in this show. He disappears after he takes the Tesseract. He disappears in the first Avengers because they were capturing him. So this is where Loki picks up and his show starts because he's in the TVA, the time variant place.
Yeah.
Okay. But technically he hasn't been placed back on his timeline, not the original Loki that is the variant that we see in the show. For those of you who are confused, we're talking about different timelines because this show has everything to do with time and the different variants of Loki, because we then come to find out that the variant or the person they're chasing, the reason why they want Loki to work with them, is another version of Loki, because that version of Loki is going through and stealing the time capsules in each scenario that they come to find themselves in, because the whole point of the TVA is to bring back those variants or those people that have jumped off their timeline, that create a different line than where their path was originally supposed to go. So they're searching for a variant of Loki to come to find out that it's a female version, and their name is Sylvie because they don't identify as a Loki. And Sylvie then, after some time, tells Loki her plan is to see the timekeepers, who are apparently the end-all be-all of everything in the time sequence that manage the timeline, to then only find out that they're all fake. So really, what we're trying to say is, like, Loki just made all of this so much more confusing, because in Endgame, he's dead. Like, Thanos kills him.
Just going back to time again, because I really want to say this, I really do like I like stuff like this that talks about how time works. And I know there is this huge conversation of your past, present, and future happening all at once. There's this conversation also in the show of how no matter what you do, you're still not free. You're still not making your own decisions, or you're still not controlling your path in life. Nobody is ever free. So everyone pretty much that was working for the TVA had a life of their own. And Sylvie's power, well, we find out that most Lokis have the same power technically. They just don't know how to get to it. But Sylvie's power, she's able to really get into your mind, which Loki can kind of do the same, just a little differently, and then he learns how to do it how she does it. I also like about that. I like how there's different Lokis out there, because technically, if Loki wanted to, he could really do all of the different powers. He just doesn't know how to, right?
Yeah.
because the young Loki, he had clout. He said, "I killed Thor. I
You
did
sure
something
did.
that I did something that you've been trying to do your whole life." Anyways, I love this show. I really enjoy it. I just love this big this just time of how time works or can work. It's not that I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't really think to that extent I believe in this, but it is something that could be like make me think like, dang, what if this how this really works, you know?
I mean, time is I think not as we think it is, but as it was, right? Like this concept of time, like we don't actually know as humans because like space and the world that we just don't know yet. But to me, what's so boggling is that King the Conqueror, mind you, they don't actually say his name in the show. They just refer to it. His whole scene was improvised. They gave him parameters of what he should say, but all of it was improvised. That to me is phenomenal acting. And I think it's going to set up a lot of greatness in the next several movies that are coming out.
Hey, you sure that's his name?
King the Conqueror?
Yeah.
Yep.
Did he have another name? He who
He who remains.
yeah, that's his name.
They don't actually say his name, but it will be set up because he's the antagonist in Ant-Man, like the newer Ant-Man that's coming out. And so you will see that there's different variants of his him conquering because at the end you see him be the person instead of the peacekeeper or the timekeepers. They have him as a statue.
Hey, his name is Kang. Kang,
Oh,
not even King. It's Kang.
Kang the Conqueror. That man is wild. I wonder if Sylvie is gonna get to where the other Loki was, where she understands like what you do actually was really dumb, and you opened up a whole boatload of craziness.
But it just goes to show of her character though. She's the Loki is the superhero. Or let me rephrase. Loki is the superhero villain. When you look at Loki's universe, everyone around him is professionally trained. And then you look at Sylvie who raised herself. So it did not surprise me that she did that. It did not surprise me for a second because that is in her character. She is the stubborn Loki. She thinks she's right. She is that. She is the Loki that was in the Thor movie. And I love how he brought that to Sylvie. In the sense of Sylvie, you do have a heart. I know you do because you're me.
Yep.
With her being who she is, she has yet to learn. That's all it is. This will be her lesson, but it's a really fucked up lesson because she fucked up.
Bad girl. Did you not see those different timelines spreading out outside your house? And she's stuck. Well, kind of, because she still has Kang's time thing, but she doesn't know she doesn't know where she pushed the other Loki.
I am really interested to see where this is going to go now because I am going to just toss this out here. It's weird as hell to see Loki fall in love with Sylvie.
Himself.
That is the most arrogant shit I have ever seen.
You should not be surprised.
That's nasty. Like their kids are gonna come out doing the crip walk.
Not the crip walk. I'm screaming. I do think it's interesting because the movie that comes after this is Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch's movie, Something of Madness. So they're gonna really get into the whole time thing because I think it gets scarier after this.
And I love that though. Because even the Avengers movies was like that. The whole I know this is in the comics, but the what do they call it? The Infinity Stones. And oh, did you pick up on the fact that in TVA they had so many stones?
Oh yeah, because it didn't matter in their time.
That's what but like that was even like what? It makes
Yep.
sense. It makes total sense. I understand it, but it was also I didn't see that coming, and that took I don't know why, but it made my brain go like, He's like, yeah, oh, we use these as paper clips. And Loki's like, y'all have a lot of these. And we're sitting here looking for one of each. Can we talk about the ending though? How trippy that was? They did not know him. Man, they should have just, which is interesting that Loki, or Sylvie, I should say, made the decision to just kill him because with her being a Loki, I know she wants power. There's an article saying that WandaVision and Loki are kind of connected as well. The moment where Wanda becomes the Scarlet Witch happens at the same time that He Who Remains tells Loki and Sylvie, we just crossed the threshold. And then when Agatha, whatever her name is, hits the ground in WandaVision, He Who Remains drops something on his desk. There's an ongoing theory that Loki might have created the ending of WandaVision. There's a scene in Loki where multiple timelines are created, which might be hints at what caused the ending of WandaVision when Scarlet hears her son screaming for help. This might be a sign that the two sons exist in another timeline. So essentially, Sylvie fucked up the entire timeline for the Marvel Universe. Loki, the series on Disney Plus. Loki, the series on Disney Plus. Is it binge worthy?
Well, first off, sorry to this show because it was harder for me to follow because I haven't seen a lot of Marvel movies. I know I suck. It's okay. But I did think it was interesting from what I did see, and the effects and stuff are cool, and the characters, and I like anything actress Juju is in, so that was a bonus seeing her. So, I mean, I thought it was interesting, but I think had I known or had I watched more things in the Marvel universe, I would have really loved it and got into it more. I would say yes, it is binge worthy if you're up to date on all everything that's Marvel and you're really into the Marvel universe. I would say go for it. But if you're like me, I would probably wait to watch it so you can really, really fully enjoy it.
I would say yes, Loki is binge worthy. You are gonna have a hard time understanding it if you have not seen any of the Avengers or Marvel movies prior to Loki, especially the ones he are in. Even if you just want to start there, just watch the ones. Actually, no, because you're still gonna get confused. Just start. I've seen every Marvel movie and I still get confused on what's happening. But just start at the beginning, like Larasha said, if you can. Honestly, we should do if Marvel Universe is binge worthy, because I think it is. The entire Marvel Universe is binge worthy. All right, you guys, watch Loki. It is binge worthy. It's on available on Disney Plus. Please follow us on Instagram at binge worthy pod. Hit that follow button. All right, peace.